All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this episode of Angels Don't Lie. I am your host, Jeanne Street, and I'm so excited to be with you today. On a beautiful, beautiful day. Okay. As you can see, I'm in my art room. I'm feeling very creative today. And I thought, so creative. Let's hop on and do this podcast to talk about when we awaken our clairs. What does it look like to come on board with our energy centers and our gifts? And why sometimes we might feel a little off with it. We might feel like, oh, that's so like yesterday. Everybody's talking about that. It doesn't matter for me. So why it's going to matter for you is what you're going to want to stay tuned for today. Because I got some yummy nuggets for you today.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
All right, guys. Again, I'm Jeanne Street, and welcome to this episode of Angels Don't Lie, where we're going to talk about awakening our clairs and doing it in a really like high vibe, cool way. Great. So what came, but let me tell you what came to me of like wanting to even do this podcast of bringing this information to you is one, so many people are on board right now with their soul. They're awakening their gifts. They're really stepping out and they're really using their yumminess to serve the world. But they're also kind of, what I've found from some clients that I'm working with is they're hitting a roadblock. They're hitting a wall because they do have some unhealed traumas. Trauma is a big word, but stay with me. Pains, past events, things that have happened, and they are hitting that wall and they get some burnout and they're not proceeding into the path that really lights them up. But what they're doing is they've stepped into the energy of doing it like someone else. And we can call this imposter syndrome. We can call this, you can call it whatever you freaking want. But, the fact is energy is energy. And when we aren't healed in our own body, that means we are going to be misguided in what is ours and what's another's. We're going to lose focus on how do I really step ahead and have my light shine, and what is my end goal here? Like, what is the world that I'm creating? What am I manifesting here? And what does this all have to do with our clairs anyways? So first, let's talk about clairs. Let's get a little details here. So our clairs are how we connect with energy. Our clairs allow us to connect to the sight, the smell, the sound, the taste, right? The feelings and the knowing of the energy that we live within. Also, our clairs connect us to source energy. So it is through your senses that we have this holy experience. So there's not a, separation from, a medium or a psychic to someone that isn't that, because we all have clairs, we all have senses. So anyone with a sense can connect. And if you know what you're doing in terms of connecting, then you will use your gift in a, let's say, like, we just envision yourself as being, I call this like your personal moral code, right? We have a moral compass within our body, and that moral compass is it's gonna lead us to the connecting with the things that are meant for our soul and in fulfilling our soul legacy. So when we're in our due north, when we're in that space, well, we're gonna move forward in that trajectory of beautiful alignment. But when we have had pain or other things come on board which affect our physical being, come in through our senses, but then those emotional wounds end up landing and taking place and becoming more in our physical body, in our organs, in our blood, in our bones, and in our tissue. It changes us. When they haven't been healed, those emotional wounds, that also affects the senses. And so there's a distortion in the way that we're connecting to energy. So, well, some people have a great gift and they know it. They're like, right, I'm really intuitive and, I can see around people and I can guide them really well. And I say, great, that's amazing. Yet then they fall. Then they start to notice, like, I don't have it all together. There's something missing. The world isn't receiving me. My voice isn't being seen or heard, and I'm not moving where I think I need to go. I'm not fulfilling the thing that I really want. And so this is like the big hang up, right? Our clairs aren't fully on board. They're not working in alignment together in order for us to move forward in our due north place. Right? Does it make sense? So when we have a lot of pain and things that have happened in our past, in our childhood, we're going to take on some beliefs and conditionings that aren't physically our own, which will turn our dial a little off, and then a little off, and then we'll be a little off. So when I work with healing clients, that's one of my beautiful expertise gifts is I can look at you, I can, just get that gist and say, show me where they are. And Jesus immediately shows me like where they are in their due north. Are they off to the left? Are they in an ego place? Are they thinking and relying on logic only? Are they too far right? Are they really emotionally wounded? And they bounce between logic and emotional wounds all the time, and their wounds are outside of themselves, right? And so their clairs cannot come on board in a way that is dialed open all the way, because it's almost too much energy to receive. And there's so much conditioning going on that the belief system inward is tied to past trauma. So it's let's clarify a very little way, like we can make this simple, right? So you come on board, you're intuitive or you have a sixth sense and you can connect with spirit, great. And then you're working in your field and you think, oh, this feels really good. And then it gets messy. Maybe clients aren't coming, or maybe you start to beg for work, or it's just like what you feel like something's wrong. So all of a sudden you start reacting or acting from the place of the old you, the hurt one, the one that had the familiar wound. And so you're not even your adult self now. So now you're in the action of making something work. So I see this all the time, especially with healers. And I speak from example too. So listen, we're perfectly messy, which I love. And once we know something, we can do something about it. So I talk from that point all the time of, I know it because I've lived it. So we serve from the place of fulfilling a void, fulfilling something in us that is so painful that we haven't been able to look at, to feel, to heal. And instead we are acting from a younger version of ourselves and manipulating energy, forcing energy, trying to get what we want, like making it happen. That's the whole point. That's the tightness in the energy. We can't make it happen, right? We have to be easeful with our energy in order for it to flow and go and flow and go. And this is how it's going to come effortlessly to us, because when the desire matches the soul, matches your heart center, then it's an effortless thing. And you don't have to do or be anything other than who you are. This messes up our clairs. This fogs them over. It makes them really messy and muddy. And you are reading things from a point of view of pain instead of the point of view of the purity of love. Wait, what? Yes. So to awaken our clairs not only means that we're going to bring them on board, we're going to dial open our energy centers, we're going to start to do some meditation, but we're also going to take a look at our pieces, soul fragments that we've left behind. We're going to do some work, because in order to move forward, right, in this effortless way. You don't have to move the mountains. Girl, it's not about the mountain moving. It's about the clearing the field inside. It's like pulling the weeds, and it's being gentle in doing that. It's releasing energy that no longer needs to live in that space. So I get you. Like, you've seen it, you've had the vision. We have these postcard visions. God is showing, like, these are meant for you. Like, you're meant to serve. And I get you. You see the stage, or you see the book, or you see it, but you don't know how to get there. And that force is not going to make it happen for you. It's going to make it harder for you to be there. Right? That force it's going to make it all like it possible. So when we start to lean into our clairs in a really different way, in a cleansing way, in a renewing way, and a recovery way, is releasing the toxins that are in our energy centers that have landed in our body, releasing those blocks, not necessarily about rehashing and talking about this stuff that happened in your past, but it is about feeling the feeling that you didn't fully get to feel because it was too big at the time. It was too much. Too much for your little being. It was too much for your younger self. But now you can feel it. And that might look like a good cry. And that might look like standing in the mirror and holding yourself. It might look like rewriting the story. There are many different trauma modalities in order to release it and then rewire it. And rewiring it has to do with our brain, right? Because our brain remembers, it's built to remember, and we also get to renew it, right? This is free will. God says, I give you free will. You have the ability to heal all of the cells in your body. You have the ability to heal with the living water, with God, with Jesus. We have the ability to come back on board, to tap in, to lean in, right? So it's this multi-layered work, but when we commit to releasing what is binding us, so we can't be forward and just feel unconditional love all the time, everything is conditioned. Well, we gotta do that work, right? And then all of a sudden we start to feel really warm and fuzzy, and here is where the fun part comes in, because once you feel that, you have no attachment to outcome. The outcome isn't the issue anymore. Now it's just more peace. There is no issue. You just want to feel more peace, because once we are at peace, everything that you truly desire comes to you. Peace. Peace. I hope you're soaking in all the yumminess from today's episode of Angels Don't Lie. I'll be getting back to the podcast in just a moment. I just wanted to pause here with you to make sure that you know of a free offering and labor of love that I have for you as being part of my angel community. This offer is designed especially for you as you're navigating the areas that are most painful for you. So these areas are healing from grief, working through our trauma, understanding and utilizing our gifts to the highest capacity the way God intended, and for leaning in a little further to working with our gifts, but in a God-based manner. This up level is what I'm talking about. In this offering, it's called the Angel Mediumship Third Eye Masterclass. In here, you will learn how to begin to access heaven using my God-based method. There are 6 short video lessons, and you'll understand why you're emotionally depleted and worn out. You'll recognize when your third eye is off balance, and you'll learn the tools to effectively clear it. This understanding will lead you to knowing the sensitivities and the frequencies that are around you. You'll be able to also release emotional wounds that block your ability to receive those yummy messages and visitations from your departed loved ones. Discover the joy and love in utilizing your gifts while protecting your energy. Create a soul-aligned life with your gifts from Spirit as you awaken to your purpose and shine your light confidently. Take action today of this free masterclass. The details are listed below this episode. All you need to register is an email. Now back to the episode. Jesus said, "My peace I give you. My peace I give you." It's offered to you. It's offered to us every single day when we return to the truth of who we are, to our identity, when we return to a prayerful state of being, right? When we remember as a healer, we were sent here to walk in that original path with Jesus. He walked here first. He paved the way. And so when we follow that path, we can be healed of our own stuff. And then we can help others by leading them, guiding them, navigating them to the energy that will heal them as well. It's beautiful. Really, really powerful. So when we want to do these things, we got to step up. We have to step up. So listen, I've got some offerings for you. One of the offerings I have, which is incredible, my team and I really poured all our love into creating a virtual experience for you. So you can do it anywhere. I wanted to make this, really accessible. My angels were like, this is going to be for global community, not just in person. And I was like, all right, whatever you say. So the global community, right? Because consciousness is togetherness, right? We evolve together. There's no separation, right? We see separation always, right? Religion, class, race, we separate, but we're one and the same. And when we are together in union with our growth, with our light, extending that light, we as a collective energy evolve. Then we evolve. And that's when humanity grows. And we're in this really cool place of, the age of the healer, right? We can call it so many things. I've talked about it too much, but the age of the healer means we're all coming on board. I'm not surprised that we're seeing so many people saying, I'm intuitive, or I'm a healer, or I'm this. Like, yeah, guess what? This is what humanity is. This is what our human nature is to feel things, to heal things, to go through things, to be messy and to be the light. This is what it's about. And we need to be messy together, right? Because when we have that, that's when we feel a unity. We feel connection. We're like, oh my gosh, you notice this too. So your energy centers are meant to be awakened in a God-based manner. Your senses tapping into spirit are meant to come on board with divine light in a really beautiful way. So that's my first class that I have for you. It is my angel mediumship class. It's what I would say like beginner, but not beginner, because we all have these abilities. And so this one masterclass, it's the third eye masterclass. It takes you through the steps to awaken that third eye in a God-based manner and lead you to landing in the semblance of your own truth, a really concrete connection, like really beautiful. So we're going to put the link in the copy below in the show notes so you have it. Feel free to share it with a friend because it is a labor of love, and I really believe that you're going to love it. Along with that, you're going to get, if you go this route, you're going to get some special discounts that we don't offer anywhere else. You don't have to take me up on them for sure, but they're there because you say yes. And I wanted to give you reward. I wanted to show you what God shows me. Like every time we step into a healing, every time we lean into him, he rewards us with some yumminess. He rewards us with, okay, I got this. Like I've taken it away. Like he rewards us with a new view, right? We get renewed over and over. And that is the grace of God over and over for us. So that's what I have for you, my lovies. And I also have an in-person one that I'm doing for all my local peeps. And this is a little bit different than that class. It's called Awaken Your Clairs. And we are going to be doing that at the Angel Co-op. it is going to be a complimentary class. And so I wanted again to lean in to talk about why it's important and guide you to do a really lovely meditation. So if that lights your fire and you are excited and you're listening to this before April 6th, then you can join me. And if you're listening at a past date than April 6th, 2022, go on over to the freebie because it's below, and I'm sure that you're going to get tons of love and energy from that. All right, my beautiful soul. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Angels Don't Lie, and that you remember that all your gifts, all of that energy, all of your clairs and the way you connect is God's way of saying he loves you and he wants you to lean in a little further, just a little bit more. All right, my lovies, have a beautiful day. And I know what I know because angels don't lie. God bless.